Morning, this is Brian. Today is Tuesday, December 6, 2022, and I'm here at Black Mountain Open Space Park in Rancho Penasquitos, San Diego. And originally, I was going to try a hike from, Camino Cristalina. I was going to try to do a 5-peak loop hike today. Let's see. Camino Cristalina. I was going to try to hike up from there, go up over a bunch of different peaks today, and then get to Black Mountain. Problem is, when I got to Camino Cristalina, yeah, it was locked. Well, not locked, but private property. So I'm gonna have to find me another way. I've been over here before years ago, and I didn't make it to the summit of Black Mountain that time, but I'm gonna try to see if I can make my way up to Black Mountain and then try to hit some of the satellite summits around there. A couple of peaks I was looking at were over on this side here, on the east side of Black Mountain Park. One of them is about here somewhere. It's called Ebony Benchmark, and then I was going to hit Manzanita Loop Hill, which is about here somewhere, and then I was going to hit Little Black Mountain, which is about here somewhere. Then I was going to go up to Black Mountain, and I was going to try to get to Peak 1376, which I should be able to. I don't know. I wrote out a map to try to get me up to that spot, but now I'm going to have to do it differently. Nice morning out here. Lots of thick stratocumulus clouds. Maybe a chance of a few showers occasionally, but I doubt anything other than a few spritzes I saw on the windshield. So I've been over in this area before. It's been several years. It's been since early 2016. And that day I was looking for Black Mountain, but I couldn't find the way to get up there. I'm going to try this time. Again, kind of was hoping to hit it from Camino Cristalina, but I saw a no trespassing sign near where I was going to park, so there went that one. So I don't think this is going to be a 5-peak loop like I hoped. This is 4 or 5 peaks. That would have been 5 peaks. Ebony Benchmark, Manzanita Loop Hill, Little Black Mountain, and Peak 1376. So this will be a modified version of the hike. We'll see how this goes today. Got to see if I can make the right connections today to get up there. So originally the hiking I had planned was going to call for about pretty decent 1,800 feet of climbing. All the ups and downs, up and over the peaks. But now, I don't know. I guess I'll just have to kind of wing it today. Not a big fan of trespassing. There are other ways to enter this park that are in the residential areas. I'll have to look them up. So we'll have to see how this goes. One thing I do remember, it says we're roughly on the north side of Black Mountain. And I've done another hike to the summit of Black Mountain from Hilltop Community Park. Did that hike, and then did a little extra hiking on the other side, because that comes up the more sunny, exposed side of Black Mountain. So I did is I hit the peak and then went around the backside for botanizing purposes. This trail's a no-nonsense trail. Starts off pretty steep. Well, that time I hit Black Mountain easily. Very easy to get to from there. And then tried to go around the backside looking for plants to identify. So I went on the north side. It gets very lush. Chaparral gets very lush on the backside of this mountain. A little rutted over here. Ooh-wee. This is a no-nonsense climb right here. Think about this park. Since there are so many entrances, there are lots of connecting trails. Ooh-wee. This will definitely wake me up. One thing is, this is a very beautiful park. Come here. Definitely want to do it very cool weather like this. See the ocean very nicely from here. Some good views. There's the ocean right there. That's looking over towards La Jolla, Soledad Mountain. Very prominent area in Claremont, near the Claremont area. And that's looking up towards Escondido, San Marcos, the ocean side up that way. One of the more relatively flat parts of the San Diego County coastline. So yeah, first bit of this is no nonsense uphill. Well, let's see. I'm going to keep wiggling my way up this. Keep checking in. I don't want to make this a 2-hour video like last week. So, I'll see you along the way. Well, yeah, I've been really climbing. This is a very steep trail. I don't know if this is the way I went the first time I was here. First time I was parked on this side. That was back in early 2018. Don't know if I went all the way up this way or if I went up another way. As it was years ago, so I don't have a huge memory as to how steep it was. But this one just seems to be climbing straight up towards the ridge line. So maybe this is a little bit different than the last time. We are climbing up out of the coastal sage scrub. We were in coastal sage scrub the last clip, and now we're starting to merge into some chaparral species. Saw some chamise, see some Mission Manzanita up here. Those are typically more chaparral species, although not exclusively. Some thick stems of lemonade sumac. Okay, now I'm coming up onto something kind of familiar. Some of these closed signs here. I think this might be the way I went last time, because I ended up on by the Glider Port first time I was here. So this might be the way I went. But I did see some routes, some trails that looked like they led right up to Black Mountain, that were pretty well defined looking in the imagery and didn't have a lot of brush encroachment. But they had to close some of the trails here to allow some of the chaparral to regrow, as this area has been very heavily trafficked. It's leveled out for now until over here, but we're starting to get up into some very lush lemonade sumac and laurel sumac over here. So hopefully the lush chaparral portion will be commencing soon. Still pretty steep over here though. Quite beautiful over here though, that's for sure. Let's see what this is here. Huh. So I wonder if this is just gonna lead over to the Glider Port and whatnot. Hopefully I'll be able to find a turnoff to start climbing up the mountain. This must have been the trail I used the first time I was here. And that was before video. I started shooting video. I went up here. This is when I went up this way, was early 2016. This is the Glider Port right here. That's going up the ridge right there. I can see one of the towers kind of beyond that false summit there. I can see one of the towers a little bit up. But yeah, this must be Glider Port here. Now, I'm going to take this trail up here. Start heading up. Really glad it's nice and cool. I'm already sweating pretty heavily. Like I said, going up that was no joke. Not quite as shady here, so we're back out in coastal sage scrub again. Black sage, California sagebrush, buckwheat being our predominant plants on this somewhat of a plateau. So, see a trail up ahead. Very beautiful trail. Very pretty area. Smells really good right now. A little bit of drizzle and humidity in the air brought out the scents of the black sage and California sagebrush very nicely. So it's very fragrant up here. Not to mention that one big rain we had in early November woke everything up. So during the winter, usually during the winter through about mid-spring, you can expect it to be quite verdant, even with the low-growing sage scrub. Very fragrant. But I think we're going to be climbing into some chaparral pretty soon. Well, so when you get to the glider port from the trailhead, that big bald spot I came to, so we're going to start looking for the path that keeps going up the hill behind it. And so far, this is taking me up here. So I'm going to keep climbing, and I'll check in pretty soon and see where we are. Alright, so a little higher up, a little bit further along the way, into the chaparral now. Here's an interesting Mission Manzanita right here. Xylococcus bicolor. Leaves are relatively flat and quite wide because they're not so revolute and curled under at the edges. The leaves are actually relatively flat, what I'm used to. Occasionally you'll see it like that. Usually the leaves are very tightly rolled under. So they look narrow, I'd say they typically look more narrow than they truly are. The optical illusion of the leaves being curled under so tightly. But when they're flat, relatively flat, like some of the ones here on this north-facing slope, or northwest-facing slope, I should say, it's kind of neat to see. There was some actually relatively flat and broad leaves. So yeah, we're in very much a common chamise-dominated chaparral right now, as this isn't the shadiest portion of the north-facing exposure. So chamise will often predominate on the more exposed sections, which should be expected. It's one of the more drought-tolerant shrubs of the chaparral. And again, for those who might not be familiar, this is it right here, the little needle leaf shrub here, Adenosoma fasciculatum, verdifasciculatum. But now, as we curve in the trail, the plant composition is changing dramatically. Getting some more Mission Manzanita. Okay, so right here, if you go this way, it's going to take you downhill, so I'm going to follow my intuition and keep going uphill. I'm going to turn right here at the fork. Like I said, there are lots of trails, use trails, and more formal trails like this that lace the grid of the land here. So I'm picking the ones that are, if I come to a junction, I'm picking the one that's going uphill. So this is kind of a little bit of a find my own adventure kind of hike now, because I've never been to the summit of Black Mountain from this side, and the first time I tried, didn't find it, but I know I've climbed more than I did that first time, so must be doing something right. Heading towards it. Very large chamise up here too. Okay. Looks like it's widening up to almost like a dirt road here. So going down this way is a no-no. Going up this way is going to be the obvious choice. So we got some good views over here starting to open up. Looking kind of eastish. I can see very well Woodson Mountain, North Iron Mountain, and there's Iron Mountain over there. So we're getting some good views opening up towards the Poway/Ramona area. Alright, so now we're going to start another pretty steep pull here, so I'm going to take my time going up this. I don't know if this would really be a service road because it looks too, well, messy. Well, I mean, it was closed off over there, so right now it's just for hikers and probably mountain bikers. So I would not want to drive even a four-wheel drive up this. Never driven a four-wheel drive vehicle before. So I'm gonna keep going up, and I'll check in. Before I go though, woolly ceanothus tomentosus, pretty common up here so far. Those will be erupting in about a month or two, probably towards February, with clusters of blue flowers. They're gonna be quite lovely. So I'll check in further up the hill here, see what else lies ahead. Hello, this is Brian again. I think I'm almost on peak 1376. See, this is southeast. Peak 1376 is a little northwest of the peak, which should be up this little spur here. So that, I didn't realize I was that close to Black Mountain already. So I'm gonna go up this little spur here and see if there's anything up here. I think this is peak 1376 already. So when you come up that road I was coming up in the last clip, when you get to that little fence right there, bank up to the right. There's a little rock cairn up here on a chair. So apparently I've already made it to the first peak of the day. That was a very short walk up here. Very steep, but very short. Here we are, already. Peak 1376. Yeah, this is definitely it. I don't see any other promontories around here. So this is it. Very short walk off the main hiking road. So I wonder. So this is it. So I was looking at my map, and I saw Black Mountain, and I was looking at it, and I saw that I was northwest of it by looking at the map. Bear with me here. Yeah, I wrote out one of my little chicken scratch maps for this one. So center there is Black Mountain with the circle around it, or the oval. So I oriented it. See, it's about 9:45, getting close to 10 o'clock in the morning. So the sun will be in the south, kind of in the southeastern part of the sky right now, because it's December. So if I orient this map to point south-southeast, it would look like this. So I'm north-northwest of Black Mountain right now, and right there, if you can read it, I don't know, that little triangle in the center of the screen, that's peak 1376, which is this one. It's a pretty short distance to get to Black Mountain. So basically what I got to do is, when I'm done up here, is I'm going to dip down to that saddle. This peak right here is not going to have a lot of prominence, maybe 100 feet. But then I'm going to dip down to that saddle, and I'm just going to buck up and take that steep trail up to the peak over there, which is Black Mountain itself. And Black Mountain, as I've mentioned in other videos, is the second highest point in the city of San Diego. It's at 1,552 feet. So it's about 39 feet lower than Coles Mountain by Mission Trails, which is the official city high point. So I'm just curious if there's a register or anything over here. I doubt it, but that'd be kind of neat. So somebody built a rock cairn on top of a chair. Very interesting. So I'm trying to remember if this one, I think this one's listed on Peak Bagger. I know it's on the Cal Topo map. I know that for a fact, because I have that precise elevation of this peak. So I know it's on Peak Bagger. I mean, well, it's listed on the topo maps. I think it's on Peak Bagger. But I use the Peak Bagger database to look at the topo maps around the named peaks to find unnamed peaks that I want to climb. And this is one of them. I think, let me see. Some of the other peaks I wanted to climb in the area, might be able to, well, I'll probably get a better view on Black Mountain. One of those is going to be Ebony Benchmark. Just by guessing, I think that hill right there might be Ebony Benchmark. I'm not sure. One of these might be Manzanita Loop Hill, and one of these is going to be Little Black Mountain. Those are two of the other ones I wanted to climb today. Well, actually, three of the other ones I wanted to climb today. There's another hill on the other side of, was it Carmel Valley Road, I think is the name of the street. It's, when you get off on 15, you're getting off on Bernardo Center Drive, and you turn left onto Bernardo Center Drive when you get off the exit, and then you drive up the hill. One of those is going to be Hill 921. I suspect maybe that hill over there, because that hill's surrounded by, it's basically an island surrounded by roads and houses. I think that might be Hill 921 over there. I think that's going to be Ebony Benchmark. That might be Manzanita Loop Hill, and that might be Little Black right there. I got to kind of think how I could maybe try to get over there. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take a minute, take a few pictures from up here on the peak, and then I'm going to return back to the road. I'm going to keep heading southeast to get up to the top of Black Mountain for my second summit of that one, and I'll see you along the way. Well, so yeah, I've been coming up this. It looks a lot more intimidating. It does. It looks a lot more intimidating when you're going down that, because you're going downhill. So your body, your face is kind of angling down. So this is going to look a lot steeper than it is. Not to say that it isn't steep, because it is. But I mean, you can see I'm getting pretty close to the top of Black Mountain right now. So I'm thinking of how I could maybe do a modification of the loop I had planned. Maybe I could try to hit the other peaks in the reverse order. I think I can still make that happen. I was kind of disappointed when I got to the first attempted trailhead, which isn't, I guess, really a legal trailhead. Thinking, drats, there go my plans. So I figured, instead of just turning around and going home like a defeated wretch, figured I would park at that trailhead I shot the first portion of this video from, give it a try. Thought maybe I'd have to shave off a couple peaks. And so far, things are working out very well right now. I don't know that this will be quite the same amount of distance. I might still have to modify a few things, especially if I still want to hit Ebony Benchmark. Because I've got to think of which way I'm gonna come off of the top of Black Mountain. So I have to study my map and just follow it kind of in the opposite direction. Black Mountain or peak 1376 back there, again, there it is, were supposed to be my last two peaks according to the plan I made out. So I'm gonna have to change some directions on the way I go from here. It's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I thought this was gonna be a real drag coming up this. Sure, it's steep, but it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. We're already quite a ways above peak 1376. See some other trails here. Some is just right over this berm, I think. I'm just about to hit it right now. I'm trying to remember if this was an alternative I took from the road to get up here the first time. I guess I don't have the best recollection of everything. I just remember it was an awesome hike from Hilltop Community Park 2. It was a little bit longer on distance coming from there, and that's near Mount Carmel High School. Hilltop Community Park's off of Oviedo Way. And that's a longer hike to get to the top. I think it's between 3.5 and 4 miles round trip if you do it from Hilltop, which is off the Nighthawk Trail, which is one of the popular ways to get up here. I assume this one probably has its popularity too. But this is a much shorter way to get up here. Much shorter way. So you're getting a lot more elevation per walking pace than you would. I don't even know if I've been hiking for a mile yet, to be honest with you. I'm just about here to summit Black Mountain. I'll have to kind of maneuver around the towers to point out all the great views, but this is a very cool mountain peak. And it's the second highest point in San Diego, city limits, that is. We're already here. Did not take me long to climb up that. So what do we got over here? Oh, a sign for Black Mountain. This is another one of those mountains that has a million different elevation designations. This one says 1554. I've always learned it as 1552. Some will say 1558. So, this is one of the higher points here. So I'm going to do a partial summit pan. This might be the highest point right here. But again, I'll go over there to verify. Okay, so let's start by panning out towards the east. Looking at Iron Mountain, 2,696 feet. North Iron Mountain, 2,703. Woodson Mountain, 2,894. Bunch of hills and peaks I don't know the names of yet. Looking out towards Powell, Escondido. Now we're looking out more towards the north. Palomar Mountain will not be visible today because of the overcast, or not overcast, but scattered clouds. then I can see, way off in the haze, you won't be able to see it on camera, unfortunately. I can see San Onofre Mountain in the Camp Pendleton area. That peak's about, I think, about 1,800 feet in elevation. I don't know the specifics. There's the Pacific Ocean. So Oceanside would be over there. Encinitas, Solana Beach area, Del Mar Racetrack. And then I can see over there is the main Torrey Pines State Reserve. And then that's looking over towards La Jolla Village, the Mount Soledad area with the cross and the radio towers. Point Loma. Now we're looking southwest now. Alright, so let's go walk around this a little bit. So I think this I think is the high point. Let me see if there's a benchmark. I don't remember seeing a benchmark the first time I was up here. There's some really steep spots on this if you're coming up the backside from where I came. But that's not an overly extremely difficult hike. You're just going to have to take your time and push through it a little bit. So yeah. I'm trying to see if there's a benchmark or anything up here. I remember seeing one the first time I was up here. If there is, it could be actually inside the radio tower communication spots. So that's Hilltop Community Park. That's the way I came up the first time I did Black Mountain. Came up there, roughly that way. That's towards where the Nighthawk Trail starts. So that's the park that I came from. Mount Carmel High School is right next to it. I think that's it, yeah. That might actually be the school. I must be tripping. Yeah, I think that's the school actually, but yeah, I think there should be the park right there too. It's right next to it. So yeah. Yeah, it's blocked off. So we just got to walk around the summit a little bit to take in all the interesting shots. So you come up kind of from that way. You keep going up, and then you join the service road. Hook a right on the service road, the uphill direction, to come up here from the Nighthawk Trail. And that's actually a very easy hike coming up from that way. There's maybe one, maybe two steep sections. Well, this one major steep section was before you join the service road to get up here. You come up from Hilltop Community Park, but it's not very long lasting. The service road could be a little tedious too. I mean, overall, it's a pretty easy hike to get up here from that side. And this side, it's about, I think, about the same elevation gain. I think it's close to the same elevation at both the trailhead I started and at the trailhead on the edge of Hilltop Community Park. Let's go around here and get some more southerly views here. Oh yeah, I can see some juicy stuff out there. I thought it would be pretty boring if I walked through there. I've shot video of that hike that I did up here back in 2018, but I only uploaded one or two of the clips later on, just because I wanted to show what it's like to be up here. I think this might actually be where the summit high point is. Let's call it official. This little patch of sage scrub vegetation up here. Okay. Alright, so you get a better view of Woodson Mountain, Iron Mountain. I can even see two of the other hill peaks I was potentially going to climb today as well, which is, got to zoom in really hard. It's kind of hard to see, but Out there's towards Corte Madera Mountain on the left, Los Pinos Mountain on the right. Those were two possibilities for today as well. And then I can see that lump-shaped peak, that's Lions Peak, over towards the further interior part of Jamul. I can even see Cuchama, or Tecate Peak, at 3,885 feet. Otay Mountain, San Miguel Mountain, and then I can see Coles Mountain very clearly from here. It's that pointy peak over there. So this is just 39 feet lower than Coles Mountain. So this is the second highest peak in the city of San Diego. Of course, we're talking about the second highest peak in the county. That's Cuyamaca, behind Hot Springs Mountain. Cuyamaca is definitely enshrouded in cloud cover, so can't even really see it today. But I can see Corte Madera and Los Pinos pretty nicely. On a really clear day, everything would stick out like a sore thumb. And again, this is looking southeast, and that's looking south right there. Well, south is more this way. There you can see Coles Mountain in the Mission Trails Regional Park area. So now, what I kind of need to do is consult the map and start considering where I want to go next. Because I still want to check out some of these peaks here. And then, where I was supposed to park was, where I was originally going to park was somewhere around down there. I think that's Cristalina or whatever that was. That road I was going to try to hike up to. I think that's Ebony Benchmark there. And I think that's Manzanita Loop Hill right there, and pretty sure that's Little Black Mountain right there, because Little Black Mountain's a little south of Manzanita Loop Hill. So I'm trying to think, should I go for them? At least knock on those two doorsteps and say hello. So I gotta think about this. So what I gotta do is kind of navigate my way. Gotta find my way down to that trail there, and then just find the trail that goes up. So the trail itself is going to go really close to Little Black Mountain summit, but what I got to do is just branch off a little bit to the left, coming up from this way. And then again, that's supposed to be Manzanita Loop Hill. I guess after the Manzanita Loop Trail that goes through that area. And again, I'm pretty sure that that peak there is Ebony Benchmark. So what I might have to do is I might have to just get to that ridge and then just hoof it and just have a huge amount of elevation gain on the way back. And then what I might do is on the way back, instead of having to try to climb back up Black Mountain, I'm going to try to swing around this way and see if I can find a series of trails that'll lead me back to where I parked. So here's beautiful Black Mountain, 1,552, or 1,554, or 1,558 feet. Beautiful Black Mountain here in Rancho Penasquitos. Before I start mapping out my next moves, now I don't know if there's any true Manzanita here. I don't think there is any, but Mission Manzanita is very prevalent here. And I want to show you them in bloom right now. It's been a while since I've seen them in bloom, but they got these little beautiful bell-shaped flowers. Quite lovely. Yeah, this is Xylococcus bicolor, the beautiful Mission Manzanita, which is very common here in this area. So I am going to go look at my map and see if I can connect the dots to Little Black, which will be my next summit attempt. So we'll see. So I'm leaving the summit of Black Mountain right now. I'm going to take the fire road down to a junction with trails. I'm going to be taking the Little Black Loop. I think it's going to be the trail I'm going to be taking. And what I'm going to be doing is trying to edge it towards that way. So let's see how this will work. See if I can make the connection. I mean, I can see the trails down there near Little Black and Manzanita Loop Hill. think I'll get a pretty good workout today. Getting up here from that other side of Black Mountain was definitely a pretty good workout. So now what I got to do is I got to take the service road here. Guess I'm gonna have to kind of wrap my way around it, and then look for a trail that's gonna ascend up over that way east of Black Mountain. So I'm actually kind of heading northwest right now, but this service road kind of curls around the sides here of Black Mountain. So let's see how successful I am in route finding today. And it's not cross-country route finding like off-trail bushwhacking and stuff like that. Off-trail, bushwhacking, whatever you want to call it. But I'm going to have to pay attention to the land so I can know which trails to connect to get up to where I want to go. So it will require me to pay very good attention to the landscape. And I'm pretty confident in myself. Even if I have to backtrack a couple times, I can be a very persistent person when it comes to hiking and trying to get to where I want to go. So I'm not too worried. If I have to do some extra work today, I know I'm going to probably have a nice bit of elevation gain on the way out, but I'm willing to go for it just to explore some other parts of this area that I haven't explored yet. Yeah, boy, these people must have had a really good four-wheel drive to get up this. Gotta have good four-wheel drive to get up this service road. So I'm gonna try to see if I can make it so that I don't have to reclimb Black Mountain to get back to my car. Really don't feel like going down those slopes. They were steep coming up, but they're gonna feel a lot steeper on the way down. So yeah, we're getting a good view. Probably, I think we'll see the junction with the Nighthawk Trail in a little bit. So you get to see the trail I used to come up. And as I was leaving the summit, there was a decent-sized group of 20-somethings. I'm assuming they came up from probably the Nighthawk Trail, but I mean, you don't want to assume. Maybe they're doing what I'm doing in a different order. But it's just a really nice place. It's a really good place to hike, stretch your legs, and get some really good exercise, and even summit some peaks. So Black Mountain was summit number 2 of the day. Now Black Mountain is by far the big prominent peak in the area. The other peaks, the other hills, the summits are not going to have as much prominence. So it's not one of those where I'm climbing 5 peaks that have hundreds to even 1,000 feet of prominence. But with a lot of ups and downs, the elevation gain will probably pick up quite a bit. I don't even know how many miles this is going to be honest with you. I didn't map it out. I didn't do a Google Earth path to estimate the mileage. So I'm just going at it just to do it and not care. Looks like another trail junction here. Because I remember when I came up, oh, that's the Black Widow Trail. Okay. Yeah, I've never been on that one before. So when I came up here, the way the Nighthawk Trail came up, curved out of way. You'd think if you're coming up from down there, you take a left to get on this to get up to the top. But the way the Nighthawk Trail curved at its terminus, you actually had to turn right to come up here. It kind of felt counterintuitive. And the Nighthawk Trail comes up, not from that ridge there. That's the ridge that leads to Little Black. But maybe, yeah, I can see the ridge, the small ridge down here. That's the one you're going to be coming up from the park. See, right down there, that's the park. That's Hilltop Community Park. And then you can see there's a cul-de-sac there. On the other side of the street, opposite of the park, is the Nighthawk Trail. I can kind of see the Nighthawk Trail kind of winding its way up the ridge. And like I said, coming up that way when I did it back in early 2018, it's a little bit longer, but it's not nearly as steep. So I'm gonna keep heading down, and I'll see you at the next trail junction. Alright, so as you can still see, I'm on the service road right now, and I'm on this patch of chalk dudleyias growing here on the side of this road cut. I remember this from the first time I came up here when I was hiking up this way. Look at all those chalk dudleyias growing right here. Dudleya pulverulenta. I remember this part right here. I loved this part. That's a lot of chalk dudleya in one spot. Very impressed. Lots of young ones. Here's a really young rosette right here. A few young rosettes. Little guy right here. Dudleya pulverulenta. I think it's one of, if not maybe our largest species of dudleya, or at least that I'm aware of here in Southern California. Because the rosettes can get huge, like this here. Most dudleyas are pretty small. Just look at that. Look at that. And it's pulverulenta chalk. The name pulverulenta comes from the chalky bit here, the chalky covering on the leaves. And these are the flower and fruit stalks. Fruits are these seed capsules you see here that split open to release the seeds. And their stalks get really large. You get a good few feet high. And it's one of our, chalk dudleya is one of our more distinct looking plants. We do have several species of dudleyas, aka live forevers. That's another common name for those plants. Chalk dudleyas tend to be pretty crazy. So we're just about at the Nighthawk Junction. So let's see here. Let's see if my memory can serve me correctly. Because I remember when I climbed up this, I remember when I climbed up in January of 2018, I took the Nighthawk Trail, and see, and it's not the curvature of the Nighthawk Trail that forces you to turn right. It's the curvature of Black Mountain Road. So I misspoke in that earlier clip. So this is the way I came up the first time. It's going to be a little bit of a steep section. Shortly after here, pretty soon, it's going to be a steep section going down. So again, if you're looking at a map, you're coming up this. So it's the curvature of Black Mountain Road that's going to have you turn right here at the junction to go uphill towards the summit of Black Mountain. So I'm now on the Nighthawk Trail. So the trail I was on the first time I was here. So what I'm going to start doing is start descending. And there's going to be a really steep little spot coming up very shortly. So I have to kind of watch my step going downhill. This is kind of it right here. It's a little bit on the steep side. It's kind of rocky too, so you got to kind of watch where you're going. So yeah, one thing I loved about that portion of the hike up was seeing all those chalk dudleys. So that's looking over towards Little Black right there, Little Black Mountain. And again, that should be Manzanita Loop Hill. And again, I might be going all the way there today. So I'm gonna have quite a bit of climbing on the way out. But I'm here to try to see how many summits I can get in today. So I'm just gonna go for it and not care right now. I'll probably be caring when I'm tired. Oh, I'm tired. It's been a long day, but I just want to get the most out of my day here at Black Mountain Open Space. So I'm trying to take advantage of this awesomely perfect weather day. I mean, these clouds, the bases of these clouds, high enough so you can see quite a bit of the backcountry lower mountains. Again, seeing Palomar and Cuyamaca, not going to happen because of the cloud cover, but you can still get some good views towards Woodson Mountain over there. I definitely got to do another hike to that one. I've hiked it before, but that was a hike I did, and I didn't film it, so I mean I could do a picture slide of it, but I like to do a live hike of it too. That would be really nice. Some very tall chamise over here. So I'm getting out as much as I can during the first middle portions of this month, because the week of Christmas, since Christmas falls on a Sunday, where I work, it's going to be closed on Sunday for Christmas. So that means I'll be having split days that week. So it's a very good chance that there won't be any hiking videos the week of Christmas. So unfortunately, that would have been my best Christmas present. Alright, so let's see here. So here's another trail junction. I remember seeing this. This is the Miners Ridge Loop. I should be able to take this to get back. I assume. I should be able to take this to go back, because when I did Black Mountain the first time, I went up the Nighthawk Trail, went up to the summit, came back down to here, and I went this way for a short distance to try to see if I could find some rare endemic plants, which I failed to find. And I was on that 2018 hike. So now I'm on the Nighthawk Trail, heading east right now, to see if I can find a means of connecting with the trails that lead up towards that saddle where Little Black Mountain and Manzanita Loop Hill are. Speaking of the name Manzanita, again, these aren't true Manzanitas, but these are mission Manzanitas, and they are really dense over here. Again, they're just starting to bloom. Absolutely beautiful plants. Xylococcus bicolor. Usually I keep more of a Latin. Usually try to keep more of a Latin, closer to true Latin pronunciation instead of the anglicized Latin for you know. So normally, if I were really to keep it closer to Latin, it would be Xylococcus bicolor or bicolor. And a lot of names I do, like when you have the two I's at the end of the name, like Fremontii, most people pronounce it Fremontii, like Populus Fremontii, subspecies Fremontii. I don't know, because I studied Latin. I used to use those pronunciations when I was a kid, learning all the scientific names, but I actually took some Latin at the university, and so was so used to doing readings and translations as a class, and we'd be pronouncing everything closer to what Latin would have sounded like back in the times of Julius Caesar or Julius Caesar. So that's probably sometimes why you might think some of my plant pronunciations are a little off. So bear with me. Okay, here's our next turnoff. So this should start heading us towards the saddle. This is the little black loop right here. So we're going to make a nice left here. There's the summit a good few hundred feet above us. There's a service road as it does a big switchback up to the top. So now we're going to start heading left here and see if this is going to lead us to where I'm really hoping it goes, which I'm pretty confident. But yeah, back to what I was saying. I do like to pronounce it more like the Latin way. Morning. I do like to keep my pronunciation closer to the Latin, but I'm not steadfast about it because a lot of the names that have the letter I in them, like Fremontii, I just call it Fremontii. That's just my preference. But some other words might kind of sound like they could be taken politically incorrect. So those ones those ones I normally try to anglicize. I'm not going to mention them because I don't want to start a discussion about political correctness and stuff like that. So we'll leave it at that. But for the most part, I pronounce mine closer, or terms closer to the original Latin, except for in some circumstances where it would sound totally confusing to the layperson who might have heard that scientific name pronounced closer to the way most botanists would. So in those cases, I will keep it closer to the way most botanists pronounce it. A lot of plants, though, pretty simple. Adenostoma fasciculatum. Nothing really difficult about that, because that is pretty close to the Latin and Greek. Adenostoma, Greek, and fasciculatum is Latin. But a lot of names are actually Greek. A lot of plant names are Greek, or Latinized Greek. And then we anglicize the Latin words, and then we also further anglicize the Latinized Greek words. But adenostoma is pretty close. It's probably more like adenostema, but it's whatever. So it looks like we're gonna have to start working our way down this way. Looks like we'll lose a little bit of elevation, but it doesn't look too bad. So on the way back out, this shouldn't be too crazy. So we're on the little black loop. So I could, depending, might be able to go up that way, or I might go curve that way. I want to curve that way so I can get to the saddle north of Little Black Mountain. So we'll see how that goes, and I will see you along the way. Okay, so I'm approaching the next saddle. It's not the saddle between Little Black and the other one, Little Black and Manzanita Loop Hill, but I'm just about at this saddle on this trail where I'm going to be starting the reverse gradient and go uphill. So I've been along this very lovely stretch of trail right here, leading towards the head of this canyon here. Quite beautiful over here, actually. It's very, very beautiful. Okay, so I've never seen pictures of this on Google Earth. This is a little bicycle repair station here. That's the Nighthawk Trail. Hilltop Park. You can get to Hilltop Park from here too. Okay. It's a 1.2 mile hike to get up there to Black Mountain. Not bad. So I've already come about a mile. A little bit over a mile. It doesn't even feel like it, to be honest with you. So, let me think here. I'm trying to think. This is going to take me to the, I think this is going to take me to the saddle. So what I'm going to do is go up this. I think there are some options here. Well, actually, that old trail there looks like it's closed. So what we're going to do is kind of wind our way around the north-facing slope of Little Black Mountain, which is up on top of this hill. So yeah, doing the direct route up this is not allowed. Trying to let that trail scar re-heal. Okay, well, so now we're seeing out this tomentosis. A lot of it. There's a lot of it at the bottom of that saddle there. Alright. So this is going to make it kind of an interesting configuration of a hike. I should be able to, without too much insanity, be able to get to at least Little Black Mountain and Manzanita Loop Hill. So those should be pretty attainable without a lot of extensive effort, I believe. You can kind of see where I came down below Black Mountain, a little trail there. And eventually, like I said, I'm going to join up with the Miners Ridge Loop Trail. And I should be able to curl me around the backside of Black Mountain without having to reclimb Black Mountain to retrace my steps. So there will be a little bit of a loop aspect to this hike today. So basically, I just went directly up the northwest slope of Black Mountain, went up and over peak 1376, and then Black Mountain, and then kind of curled my way around the other side. So very, very beautiful chaparral up here. Very beautiful. And from that last rain almost a month ago, parts of the soil, parts of the soil here along the trail are still damp, still moist. Still moisture at the top of the soil. It's been almost a month since it's rained here. So that's why chaparral on north-facing slopes can grow very tall and luxuriant. All right. Oh, here's a tall toyon. Nice tall one right here. Heteromeles arbudifolia. There's a nice, beautiful toyon right here. Pretty tall one. I don't know what this is. This looks like poison oak, but I can't. No. Now, it's some type of a gooseberry or currant. It's probably white flowered currant, but I don't even know if it's alive because white flowered currants, they're leafless during the summer and fall months, but after the rain that we had back in early November, they'd be leafing out by now. And I've seen some gooseberries on some other trails recently that were leafing out already. Something might be dead. And here we are. Another big Mission Manzanita, kind of like the ones I saw along the Mesa and Big Rock trails in Mission Trails Regional Park. So we're starting to get some big Mission Manzanitas over here too. So again, another reason why I love hiking on north-facing slopes. Very beautiful over here. Very beautiful. It looks like they put some mesh on the ground here. Maybe to help with erosion. Some more Mission Manzanita in bloom. And the sound of the wren-tit bird, Camaya fasciata. It looks like we're entering one of the more beautiful stretches of the hike. There are quite a few beautiful stretches along here, but we're in kind of where the chaparral gets quite large. So yeah, pretty sure this video will be long too. There's just a lot of beautiful stuff to see, and I just feel like, you know, I'm hiking it, I'm seeing it. I'd like to inspire other people to take these trails too. So bear with me. It's probably be another long video. Just a lot to do and see. So long videos aren't your thing. I apologize, but there's just so much to show, so much beauty. I really like to give people who watch my videos a feel for the trails and hikes I do. There's beautiful Black Mountain right there. This is a really cool park. I really like it here. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and keep going, and unless I see some species of plant I've never seen before, I'll basically see you towards the saddle. Okay, it appears we've reached the saddle in the junction. So we were looking here. That was a little bike repair station. So it looks like we're at the saddle between Manzanita Loop Hill and Little Black Mountain. So I think what I'm going to do is, if I'm looking over here, it looks like the trail getting up there is kind of hemmed off. Let me see something here. A lot of junctions here, actually. Roadrunner Loop, Hilltop Park, 1.5 miles. There are a lot of different options to hike from there. So what I am going to do, this is leading towards Manzanita Loop Ridge, but I'm pretty sure I could take this trail here and still be able to summit at the top. So it looks kind of hemmed off right there, but there's no keep out sign, so we'll see. So what I'm going to do is, there's the junction I just came from. So to get to Little Black Mountain, so I'm going to go hit Little Black first, Little Black Mountain, hit that one really quickly, or as quickly as the train will allow me. That's where I came. I'm going to make the right here. Oh, look at that. Little blue elderberry up here too. Getting its first leaves already. And a little toy on it. Oh, these ones haven't ripened yet. Wow. Maybe these ones will ripen more towards January. Okay. So now the climb begins for this one. It's been a very, very mellow walk to get here along the Little Black Loop. I think Little Black will have a little more prominence than Manzanita Loop Hill. So here we are, we're going to start going uphill. So I was able to reach the saddle without any problems. and look to see if that trail skirting around the side of Manzanita Loop Hill goes close to the summit, or if I'm going to have to make a direct approach. I'll have to see about that one. Kind of curious. I think Little Black Mountain will be a little break period or rest period before I start moving on to the others. Try not to shoot towards the sun. The cloud bases are lifting. I can see some of the other mountains that were shrouded in clouds earlier. Okay, catch my breath for a minute. It's a little steep, but it's not that bad. Oh, sheesh. So when we get to the summit of this trail here, we look on the right for like a little pull out. That's what a summit should be. It's got a little more promise than I thought. Nice little climb up here. Oh boy. Alright. I think we're just about there. Okay. Here we are. Little Black Mountain. Let's double check the elevation on this one. It's 1,300 something. Alright. peak number 3 of the day. 1,370 feet. So this is Little Black Mountain right here. Okay. Very good. Whew. No summit register, I don't think. Okay. This will be my 3rd peak of the day. Very nice. Very, very nice. High points over here, about here. Alright. Nice view of Woodson Mountain right there. Nice. Beautiful. Yeah. And there's Black Mountain. So we're a little less than 200 feet lower than Black Mountain itself. So it feels pretty good. My 3rd peak of the day. 4th one. It's gonna be back that way. Can't even see it from here right now. This peak's roughly about 50 feet higher than Manzanita Loop Hill. So we do have a lot of chaparral cover, but if you look over the shrubs, you see some nice views. Pretty nice views. Looking out towards Sorrento Valley, Del Mar, Soledad Mountain. See the Claremont neighborhood, La Jolla. There's the little 15, Interstate 15, downtown, the Coronado Islands off Baja, and the coast of Baja, California. And of course, Mission Trails over there with Coles Mountain. And again, looking over towards Otay Mountain, San Miguel Mountain, Cuchama, aka Tecate Peak, Lions Peak, Lawson and Gaskill, Los Pinos and Corte Madera, Viejas, El Cajon Mountain. I see part of Cuyamaca, the shoulder of it where Hapasha Peak is, the southern shoulder of it, and of course Iron Mountain, North Iron, and Woodson Mountain. And then maybe Palomar Mountain will be poking up later, who knows. And then now Dan cut towards the northwest, towards Oceanside and Camp Pendleton. So, wow, yeah, it's a cool little peak. There's another random peak over there, I think. Well, no, it may not even be a peak. It's hard to tell. But I'm going to start making my way north to head back towards that saddle, and then go up the other side to get to Manzanita Loop Hill. So I'm going to go take a break here, get a few shots of pictures. Yeah, break out my first water. I haven't busted out of water yet today. So I'm going to do that now. I think I can see the Miners Ridge Loop Trail. I think that's what it is right there, the one that's cutting, kind of hard to see on camera, but it cuts around that side of Black Mountain. And I can see right there, that right there is peak 1376. That was my first peak of the day. I'm here up on my 3rd one, and I will see you down the way. Okay, also, I'm now at the base of Manzanita Loop Hill. Here's the Manzanita Loop Trail. It kind of wraps its way around for about 1.5 miles. But here's the use trail to get up to the hilltop, Manzanita Loop Hill. So here we go. Next round of climbing thus begins. So just like with Little Black up there, This one will also have like a little spur pull out on the side of the trail. Since we're going up north, we're approaching it from the south. The little lookout thing, or not the lookout, the pull out will be on the left this time. So let's see how much climbing this will be. Yeah, little black. Has a little more prominence than I thought it would. Pretty cool. It's pretty neat. Tell I'm already starting to slow down a little bit. Awesome was a little steep, but I'm not as fresh as I was when I first got started this morning. So I can kind of feel a little slowing down, but still not too bad. This one should be about 50 feet lower, so it's 50 feet less climbing to get to the top of this one. It's not as steep either. Okay, getting near the top of this one already. It's a much shorter hike to get up here. Okay, I believe this is our little pull out here. So let's see. It's like a little more of a spur trail. Let's see. Let's see here. Okay, let's see where the top is. Just about there. Just bushwhack around this really quickly. Alright. Okay. Trying to find the top of this one. It's over here somewhere. You can't see it from here. Maybe I left it a little prematurely. Might be a couple of these around here. Oh boy. Pretty close. Just trying to see where I can find a viable way to get up there to the top of this. Without having a bushwhack. Woo-wee! Pretty hemmed in up here. There's a little passageway up here. Who knows, I might have to call it a summit next to the top. This one you're going to have to kind of walk around a little bit. It's up here somewhere. Try not to bushwhack too much up here. I'm just about to hit the peak, I think. It's up here near these bushes. Alright. Well, this is about as close, I think. This is pretty close here. I didn't expect to have a bushwhack up here. Alright, well, trying to leave minimal impact, so. Alright, well, this is about it. The top of it is inside of the shrub here. So this is it. Oh, a hang glider on top of over Black Mountain. Hang gliders. Probably using Glider Port. Might be hard to see them on camera. We're flying right over the top of Black Mountain. So this is it. This is the top of Manzanita Loop Hill. This is 1,330 something. I think it's 1,300. Let me see. I have it written down. 1,318. Yeah, 1,318 is Manzanita Loop Hill. Okay. Yeah. The sweat on my pants, sweat on my legs, making the map kind of yucky. Alright, well, this is it. This is Manzanita Loop Hill, 1,318. And that's looking back towards Little Black Mountain right there at 1,370. That was peak number 3. There's peak number 2, Black Mountain, at 1,552. And there's the first peak, peak 1376 at 1,376. Here's peak number 4 of the day. So, I'm going to go and try to work my way to get to, I'm going to see if I can go to Ebony Benchmark. It means I'm going to lose quite a bit of elevation. The top of Ebony Benchmark is about 1,038 feet, roughly. So, I'm just going to take a summit selfie or something here. Views are kind of localized because of the chaparral up here. But I can see Coles Mountain and North Fortuna Mountain. And it looks like Quai over there. And there's downtown. And that's over towards Oceanside. And that's over towards a nice large Mission Manzanita. So I'll see you on the next clip, or the next segment, while I'm working my way along the trail I started going up to get up here. I'm just going to kind of wiggle my way back and just get back on route. So I'll see you along the way on the other side of this mountain peak. Okay, so I'm past that point and I'm heading roughly north or northeast right now along this ridgeline trail. Could be other contenders for the summit of this, but I don't know. That was the most open way to get there that I saw. So along this just more like a use trail here. This one's a little less traveled. Not completely overgrown, but a little brush up against a few bushes here and there. Very easy to follow, though. It should start descending down the backside of this hill. So now we're going to start descending, and then we're going to be losing a good few hundred feet going forward until we get to the base of Ebony Benchmark. There's a big Mission Manzanita right there. That's a big one. It's another decent sized one. I gotta Let's see where Ebony Benchmark is. There's even a Coast Live Oak tree up here. Small Coast Live Oak tree. Oh, nice. Nice little live oak tree up here. Just a random oak tree here in the middle of the chaparral. There must be hollyleaf cherry around here. I saw some animal scat that had a bunch of pits, large seed pits in them. So there must be hollyleaf cherry around here too. So hollyleaf cherry must be somewhere around here. Haven't seen any yet on this entire hike. Probably would have pointed it out, knowing me. So there's got to be some hollyleaf cherry around here, or at least somewhere here in the preserve. Okay, so we're still following the ridge here. We're descending, but fairly gently descending right now, as we make our way north towards, hopefully, getting to Ebony Benchmark without any navigational problems. So the way back is going to likely require me to retrace a lot along this ridge line here. I was looking back towards Manzanita Loop Hill. So it's going to require me to reclimb this stretch of trail to get back near Manzanita Loop Hill, and then dip down to that signed saddle where you saw those couple of signs and an interpretive display. And then I'm going to turn back and take the Little Black Loop Trail back towards the Nighthawk area, back on the Nighthawk, and then get on the Miners Ridge Trail. And the Miners Ridge Trail should lead me back towards my car. Pretty sure. If not, then I'm in for a little bit of a climb to get back to near Black Mountain and then dip down the other side. But I'm not extremely worried. Really, to be honest with you. The trail's getting kind of narrow and overgrown here. I don't know, this is probably more of a use trail than anything. Because the Miners Loop Trail goes around. I see a sign up ahead, actually. I see a, looks like probably a sign junction coming up ahead, so we'll see what that sign says. Honestly, this is an awesome hike. I really feel good about this. I really feel good about getting out here today. I know I keep talking about doing this one hike near Ranchita up to San Ysidro Mountain. I keep talking about that, and I know I keep blabbing about it. Say, oh, I'm going to go there and do it. I'm going to go there and do it. I'm going to go there and do it. And I never do. Just this morning, I just wasn't in the mood to have to drive all the way to Ranchita. But eventually, yeah, I know I keep saying it. Okay, so we're just about at a sign right here. I can see it. Get through these Mission Manzanitas here. This trail is a little more overgrown, but not completely overgrown, obviously. It's very easy to get through. And the brush isn't really penetrable. Okay, so here's a trail junction here. So what do we have here? Well, this is the Manzanita Loop That's Manzanita Loop Hill. So if I take this, this should take me towards, so this is the loop trail. It kind of, I guess it goes around this way and around that way and meets off at the saddle between Little Black Mountain and Manzanita Loop Hill. So now I'm going to start working my way. So when I come back, what I'll do is I'm going to bypass climbing over the ridge again as much as possible and just take the Manzanita Ridge loop around the side of the mountain of Manzanita Loop Hill. I'm going to take the actual trail around it. On the way back down, vary the scenery a little bit. That's another big Mission Manzanita. There's some decent sized ones here on the ridge. Some pretty large ones. So I'm going to keep at this for a little while and we'll see how things look on the next clip. Okay, so just a short distance further along from where I last checked in. Now we're starting the downhill portion of the ridge line. I'm starting to head downhill, looking at what I'm going to have to climb back up to get back to that loop junction. So, looks like I'm going to have a nice little climb after this. Especially this portion here. Well, I'll just take my time. I'll probably have quite a bit of elevation gain on the way back. I don't know, I might have some on the Nighthawk Trail, I don't know. I mean, not on the Nighthawk, but the Miners Ridge Loop, perhaps. But this part right here is a little rocky, so just, you know, take your time. I think I can see my destination. I'm still above it. It's right here below where the buildings are. I think that's going to be Ebony Benchmark. That's definitely going to be my turnaround point. I'm pretty sure that's going to be it. So I'm going to have to go down to, I think I have to go to 2 saddles. I think there's going to be one saddle at the base of this climb / descent here, at the base of this. And I think there's a small hill. Looks like there might be a small hill in front of it that I will climb over. And then there might be another saddle there, I would assume, if that's the case. And then one last push to Ebony Benchmark. So let's see. At the end of this will probably be the longest hike I've done in a while. Probably for several months. I don't know exactly how many miles right now. I'll have to look it up if I can trace a good Google Earth path and get at least a good estimate. I know my elevation gain will definitely be well over 1,000 feet of climbing. I mean, I've already climbed over probably a little bit, yeah, definitely climbed over 1,000 feet so far. Well over 1,000 feet. And then I'm going to add probably another, at least another 400 feet. At least on the way back. Wow, there's some big Mission Manzanitas over here too. Oh my gosh, look at this. Oh, this is excellent. Look at this. Oh boy. Oh gosh, I gotta get a closer look at this. I don't know if this is all part of one. I don't know. But look at the trunks on these Mission Manzanitas. These are beautiful. Astonishingly beautiful specimens here. We got quite a few nice Mission Manzanitas over here at Black Mountain too. Black Mountain open space. So far navigation's been pretty easy. The trails are signed, and a lot of times give mileages back to certain other locations in the park, like other junctions and trailheads. So I would still very highly suggest doing advanced preparation or planning by looking at Google Earth and stuff like that, just so you can get an idea of the trails from above. So don't just just blindly come here, especially if you've never been here before, and just walk up a trail and say, oh, I'm going to get to this spot. Now, a lot of these are actually listed on Peak Bagger, so you can use Peak Bagger as a resource. Just type in Black Mountain, and then type the state of California, or else you're going to get a million Black Mountains. And when I did it for the state of California, Black Mountain 1552, the one at hand, this area, that was the one on top of the list, so just change the state to California. Peak Bagger lists at 1552. So yeah, we're gonna have a gnarly climb on the way back. This is gonna be a nice, probably about a 400-something foot climb to get back towards the ridge, I would assume. So I think we're gonna actually dip below 1,000 feet in elevation for the first time since starting the hike, I believe. So yeah, Ebony Benchmark doesn't look like it's gonna have a huge amount of prominence. But then I might have a pseudo aerial shot of where I planned to come up originally. So originally, I was supposed to be coming up this way. I was going to make a loop by starting at that trailhead that in the neighborhood and climb up over Ebony Benchmark first. That was going to be my first peak of the day. And then I was going to hit Manzanita Loop Hill and then hit Little Black Mountain and then go to Black Mountain and or peak 1376 in whichever order was easier. I was planning on doing that. I probably would have done Black Mountain and then 1376 after. But so far, looks like I'm going to hit my goal of five summits today, so very happy for that. So yeah, seems like there's going to be a little bit of a workout to get back. Unless I could find unless there's another, I think there might be some other branching off trails somewhere around here. I don't know, maybe. Or maybe there's not another, I don't know. So far, this has been very easy navigation for me. So, like I said, I kind of studied the land, even though I'm not going up the same way I planned. Kind of had an idea of what went where, and was able to make this work without too much difficulty and altering my plans a little. So it looks like I don't have to climb a hill. I haven't actually got to the saddle yet. So I don't think there's going to be a saddle, another hill, and then a saddle. I think this is just going to go to one saddle at the base of Ebony Benchmark. Then I'll have a relatively short climb to get to the top of that one. So I'll see you down the way. Okay, so I'm about at the base of this last descent. Manzanita Loop Hill has quite a nice drop off of a good few hundred feet on this side. Kind of what I suspected. So, I'm at the base of this hill now. So let's see. Let's see if this is what I think it is. And this is definitely not the last uphill of the day for me. I was going to try to see if there is a way I can circumvent at the end and try to make it back a different way. So I'll have to climb over Manzanita Loop Hill again. I don't know if that's going to happen today. Maybe I'll get a better appreciation on top of this hill here. Okay, so we're going up the next hill. It's like a new house development down there. Very new. Sure taking a lot out of the land here. Alright, let's see. What's at the top of this one here? Almost cresting this one. Okay. See, there's a benchmark up here. So far, I have to climb back over that. That's the side of that. So I got a little bit of work ahead of me. Just about on the top of this hill here. Look to see if there's a benchmark up here. Oh, what's this over here? Something. Oh. Bunch of construction material? What's all this? Huh, interesting. I don't know what all that's about. Alright. Let's see where the actual summit of this one is. Alright. The actual peak. The high point. There's a summit cairn. Alright, is there a benchmark around here? That's what I'm curious about. Well, apparently this is it. These little rock piles usually indicate a peakbagger.com peak. This was only maybe about a 70-80 foot climb from the saddle. I'm going to look around to see if I can find a benchmark. I don't know. So this is it. This is Ebony Benchmark. It's got to be it. Again, this is the way I would have come up earlier this morning had I planned this out. I mean, we're able to follow it according to plan. So yeah, I don't see a benchmark up here. Yes, this has got to be it because I don't really see any other hills. There are no other promontories really on the way up here. So let's go back up here to the top and call this summit. Again, Ebony Benchmark. This one I think is 1,038 feet. definitely a little mission to get over here. Especially it's going to be a mission to go back. Ebony Benchmark is 1,083 feet. Okay. Well, maybe I didn't dip below 1,000 feet. Maybe I didn't. It's a little climb to get up here, but it's a very short one. So, this is our summit rock pile. Don't see a benchmark yet. I was hoping to see one. Really hoping to see one. I like seeing those. They're really cool to see. So, yep, this is Ebony Benchmark 1083. Okay. So it'll be more like a 300-foot climb to get up there. Kind of dreading that a little bit, honestly. I'm starting to get tired now that I've been on this for a while. The highest point seems to actually be over here somewhere. I don't see a benchmark. Yeah, this is where I went earlier when I saw that pile of rotten wood. Alright, so let's take a look at the roster here. Alright, so looking south again, you see Coles Mountain, San Miguel, Otay, Lions Peak, Lawson and Gaskill, Los Pinos, Corte Madera, Viejas, El Cajon, Iron Mountain, Woodson Mountain, and then you can kind of see where Palomar Mountain's ridge is underneath the deck of clouds, and I can see the Agua Tibia Mountains over there, San Marcos, Oceanside, Encinitas and Solana Beach areas to the west, and now we're swinging back to my first peak of the day, 1376. Again, see, not a lot of prominence on the side of it there, on the south side of it. Of course, Big Black Mountain. Well, actually, this is the bigger of the Black Mountains here, because that's Black Mountain, Little Black Mountain, Manzanita Loop Hill. So, I'm going to stop for a couple minutes, get a sip of water or two, and then I guess I'm going to have to start climbing back over Manzanita Loop Hill. And then I'll take the Manzanita Loop, Manzanita Ridge Loop or whatever, around the side there when I get to the junction. And then I'll start looking for the other trails to start getting back. So just got to get a few pictures, get some sips, and then start making my way back. This is my turnaround point, of course. Summit number 5 of the day. It's been a while since I've done that many. Last time I did that many on one hike was back in mid-March when I did San Gabriel. No, that was when I did Josephine Peak. I did a couple of little satellite summits and hills around there, so it's been a while. So I'll see you on for some more updates on the way down. Well, I'm nearing the crest of the ridge again. There's the hill in the background. Well, the hill down below, that was the Ebony Benchmark I hit a little bit ago. A little bit of a drag coming up back up here, but not that bad actually. It felt steeper going down than coming up. Okay, so let's see. And that's Manzanita Loop Hill up there again. This time I'm probably going to cut around it on the side on the Manzanita Loop Trail. take that around the side and then meet up with, it was the little black loop, the little black trail, which I'll find at the saddle between Manzanita Loop and Little Black. So let's see. I don't know how much more climbing is ahead of me. I'm assuming there's going to be some as I contour around Black Mountain. I'm going to assume there's going to be some areas of climbing probably. Hopefully not too much, but if there is, you know, I just gotta do it, you know. You know, it's all part of the experience, especially when you want to challenge yourself. Still don't regret anything. How can you regret going on any hike when you got beautiful Mission Manzanitas like this along the side of the trail? Yeah, I definitely did not choose the easiest hike here. This is probably one of the tougher hikes in this park. As of now, I'd still rate it as moderate. I wouldn't call it really strenuous thus far, but definitely nicely into the moderate category. So here I am at the Manzanita Loop Trail junction. I could really go extra beast mode and curve around that way, but no, I'm just going to curve around this way. So I'm going to turn left. Turn left here. I could either take either side. It'll meet on the other side at the saddle between Little Black and Manzanita Loop, but I want to curve around this way. So I'm going to start heading this way. And let's see. If I wanted a little extra adventure, I could go around that way. And who knows, maybe I'll come back to this area from another trailhead. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually follow this side here. The western hemisphere of the loop. Is that the western hemisphere or this north? I'm trying to think. So that's south. Yeah, this is going to be the western hemisphere of the loop. So this will be a stretch of trail I haven't taken yet. Therefore, that's why I'm filming this too, so I can at least show the different portions of the experience of this hike. Therefore, this video is probably going to be really long again, and I apologize, but it's a lot to see, a lot to show, and a lot to do, a lot of hiking to do. Pretty sure I still got quite a ways to get back. I still have to go around Black Mountain, if not back over it, which I don't think that's going to be the issue. I don't think I'm going to have to go back over the summit of Black Mountain, but if the Miners Ridge Loop doesn't pan out the way I'm expecting it to, then I might have to. But at this point, I'm not expecting that to be an issue. So we're going to go around this, and then most likely just going to meet up at the saddle over by just north of Little Black Mountain, or Little Black Mountain, and then back on the Little Black Trail, then the Nighthawk Trail, and then I think then the junction for Miners Ridge Loop. So, although I've already climbed all the peaks I'm going to climb today, unless I have to go back over Black Mountain again, I've already climbed the 5 summits of the day. unless I have to climb back over Black Mountain again, which is pretty unlikely. Always an option if I can't find my way around the ridge loop, which we'll see how that works. Then the peak climbing part of the day is over, and I'm hoping this is the cruisy part of the day. But I don't know, we'll see how much more uphill I have along the way back. But now, maybe I can enjoy the more botanical aspects of this part of the hike. Nice lemonade sumac thicket over here, Rusin tegrifolia. Another tall chamise. And again, more Mission Manzanita. Very nice. Very nice specimens of it along this side too. There are some quite large ones here. Not quite as large as the ones I saw at Mission Trails, Big Rock Trail and Mesa Trail. Those ones were on another level. I'm trying to see if this is a summer holly or a Mission Manzanita. That's Mission Manzanita. I was looking for the gray shreddy bark. Again, Mission Manzanita and summer hollies have very similar leaves, but Mission Manzanita has that rich reddish brown bark, and summer holly has gray shreddy bark. I don't know if summer holly is here. I've seen it in some of the little bit more inland foothills, but I haven't seen it here yet. But yeah, we're getting some really nice tall chamise, very tall chamise shrubs here too, so they're starting to take in the show a little bit here. Okay, looks like we're going to start climbing a little bit here. I'm going to keep on going, and I'll keep you updated along the way. Okay, so I've made most of my way around the western half of the loop. I'm going to be joining the saddle very soon. Made pretty quick work of getting around here, and it was mostly a very gentle uphill to get to this point, so I was able to make really good pace to get over here. Very gentle. Right now this is a relatively level stretch here. Anywhere from level to very gently uphill, allowing me to get a good pace going. Like I said, I do want to make sure I'm back in case they have a lock there at the gate. I don't know. Okay, so we're back at the junction, at the saddle here, between Little Black and Manzanita Loop Hill. So like before, I'm going to go back here. We're going to pass this junction here again. And we have just under a mile before we get back to Black Mountain Service Road. So we're going to turn right here. See something here. Alright. So this should be the Little Black Trail here. So now we're going to be back in charted territory for quite a while. This is going to be mostly stuff I've seen along the way, because this is the trail I came, this is the trail I hiked along after I hit Black Mountain, when I went down the fire road, or the service road, then on the Nighthawk Trail, and onto this trail. On the way back, I'm going to be looking for the Miners Ridge Trail, or the Miners Ridge Trail. I'm going to try to navigate my way back to the north staging area where I started my hike. So, guessing I still have quite a bit of work to do, but it's very much worth it. So far right now, it's cruisy. So, I can get a good pace on. For now, but I know I'm going to have some uphill coming up soon too. So let's see. And I can see the routes. I can see the options ahead. They both lead up a little bit. And I think the Miners Ridge Loop Trail might have a bit of an uphill portion to it as well. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to keep enjoying the cruisy part of the hike, make as much time as I can, and I'll catch you along the way for more updates. Okay, just about back at the bike repair station. So let's see. Right here. Okay. Nighthawk Trail. Alright, so we're going to keep along here. Keep going. Let's see. Now we're going to start the next climb. So I can see that hill right over there, right where my finger's pointing. That was the last peak I climbed. Quite a bit above it now. That's the Ebony Benchmark hill. That's where Manzanita Loop Hill is. Of course, it's a little black. So yeah, you can see the last peak I climbed back in view. So come quite a ways. Pretty interesting. And again, we're on the next ascent right now. So we're going up the next climb. Probably used to be big laurel sumacs here. Or big manzanitas, I don't know. Some old snags from probably a fire decades ago. Okay, here we go. Time to do a little climbing. Yeah, my legs are starting to feel it now, a little bit. Boy. Got a pretty good tour of the park, that's for sure. Oh boy. So I got a nice perspective of all the distance I've covered. Well, actually only probably about maybe 2/3 of it, maybe. Thus far. Of course, not including the remainder back to the car. cool here. I love this park. It's a big toyon right here. Notice a lot of the toyons here. San Diego County look in rough shape. This one's not quite as bad. Still in pretty rough shape. Heteroma, these are Budifolia. This one's got a nice base on it. I didn't shoot video of it on the way down. Figured I'd catch it on the way up. I did take a picture of it. The trunks, but it's a pretty nice sized toyon. There's another smaller one here. Beautiful canyon down there too. Just say if I lived in a state that was flat, I would probably be doing only plant videos, because I love climbing hills, going to summits, and I love having hills, mountains, and canyons. I just love it. I love having varied topography. So that kind of stuff definitely makes me feel good to have varied terrain. It's interesting when you have steep canyons, rugged hills. It just makes the scenery so much nicer. So just about crested this one for now. I can see the Black Mountain Service Road getting closer, but I don't think I'm going to be. Not planning on going to the service road. Planning on going to the Miners Ridge Trail. I think I can see it in the cut there, in the cut of the side of the mountain, so should be it. So I'm gonna keep working my way over there. It's like a gentle uphill over there, not too bad. So that was a saddle I just climbed up from, of course. I am so thankful for the absolutely nicely cool weather. It feels great out here. I'm a little sweaty from the climbing, but not too bad. Well, this is going to be all same scenery for a while. I can see, I think that's the Miners Ridge Loop sign over there. So that's the next, going to be the next waypoint. So I'll see you when I'm over there. Well, I'm not at that junction yet. I'm actually at the other junction. This is a little black trail right here. So now I'm about to hook a right, continue on the Nighthawk Trail. So I'm going to the Miners Ridge Trail, which will be this way. So that's where I came from. Now, time to cruise along this for a minute or two. You can see the service road right there, really close to it. But like I said, I'm not planning on going over it again, because if I were to go that way, I would basically have to summit Black Mountain and go down that steep slope that I climbed up to go up there in the first place, which is really not in my plans right now. But somewhere just down this way a little bit should be a sign for the Miners Ridge Loop. I remember passing it on the way here. So we're back on the actual Nighthawk Trail. This is the way I'd be hiking if I were coming up from Hilltop Community Park. But this is the way I went to get up to Black Mountain itself. That time I went up this way. Beautiful Black Mountain. Probably called that, I'm assuming, maybe because of the dark color of the chaparral. Very dark color of the chaparral up here. Maybe. But, see, usually most people would consider this Little Black Mountain, not to be confused with Little Black Mountain over there. And the reason why I say that is because there's a much larger Black Mountain in Cleveland National Forest, just outside of Ramona, which is 4,051 feet. that'd be a much longer hike and much more elevation gain. But it'd be up a dirt road pretty much. Unless you have four-wheel drive, you can do a drive up. But sometimes I look at that and think, what's the fun in that? Okay, so here we are. We are joining the Miners Ridge Loop. So we're going to be turning right here to start winding our way around the north side of Black Mountain. And this is that steep slope that meets up with the service road to Black Mountain. So, I'm going to go bank left here. So, I'll check back in momentarily as I start making my way over this way. Alright, so I'm a short way on the Miners Ridge Loop. I'm trying to remember how far I went the first time I took a little detour. The first time I hit Black Mountain from Nighthawk Trail, I went along this for a while trying to find some rare plants, which I was unsuccessful at the time. I'm trying to remember, I did go a little ways, not super duper far, but I did go a little ways along this. More Miss Manzanita in bloom. So it was kind of as I somewhat suspected, I was going to have some more uphill. So I got a little bit going on right now. So far, nothing steep at all. But I'm feeling it more now. Not bad. Not really huffing and puffing too much. But it's very gentle. And now, kind of cresting down a little bit maybe. Like I'm saying, like I'm taking a gamble on this being the way I can link up to that steep trail that led from my car up to Black Mountain. So I am taking a little bit of a gamble on this. So I haven't taken this whole trail before. So there's a little bit of gamble, a little bit of adventure left in my day. Thankfully, no more major peak climbs. I've already peak climbed over 5 summits today. 1 major one, 1 moderate one, and 3 lower summits. Or 3 less prominent summits, I should say. So far, this is really cruisy. And it is heading in the direction. Oh, I love the sound of that bird. Love the sound of those birds. Always loved it. I still got quite a ways to go. Okay, now we got an unsigned junction here. Yeah, okay. This is not what I anticipated. This seems to be going away. If I turn right there. So I'm going to turn left here. My car is going to be off somewhere over that way. Just washed down only my second drink of the day. Pardon me there for a second or two as I head away. So, I'm not going to go that way. I'm going to go this way. Be heading towards the direction of my car. I think I still have a little ways to go, to be honest. So, since this is a little uncharted for me, this should be the next level of adventure for me. Sometimes you need to take a little unforeseen adventure. Like I said, I had the original route that I was discussing earlier planned out. Had it planned out, but had to change plans when I saw the private property sign at the cul-de-sac. I'm not messing with that. So this is definitely a big alteration in my plans. Quite a big alteration. I don't know if the way I went today was more elevation gain, or if the way I originally planned to go was going to be more elevation gain. I really don't know, to be honest with you. But we are not that far from Black Mountain Summit already. Okay, technically we're not really that far from where I parked. Distance-wise, because that's the first peak I climbed earlier, peak 1376. So I suspect this is going to kind of wiggle its way in and out of these folds and little gullies of Black Mountain, and then curve around the backside of peak 1376. Huh. Interpretive sign that was knocked over. Really, who would do that? So as far as I could tell, taking this trail on the way back is definitely paying off so far. Not a lot of severe ups along the way either. I suspect I'm going to have a few more uphills, maybe here and there. But I think this is going to swing around. I don't think it's going to go to the saddle, because I don't remember seeing anything. I'm trying to remember if I saw anything at the saddle. Well, there is. You'll see it on video, and I'll see it when I edit it. But I think this is going to go around the side of peak 1376. But I'll find out soon enough. See you along the way as I start the next uphill. Lovely. So most of the way back, I don't know what happened. Something got cut out or something happened, and then I was going to restart filming to try to see where I left off. Before that, I was going to try to see where I left off, but not exactly sure where the last bit of video left off, and then I started getting ready to film again, and then the memory ran out. So yeah, I was looking at my camera saying, okay, the timer's not going. So I don't know what happened. So I don't know exactly how much got cut off from all the stuff I was yapping about. Well, so I've been hiking along the Miners Ridge Loop, so in review, we'll go back to that. So the Miners Ridge Loop has been coming along the side here of Black Mountain, and just underneath the saddle between Black Mountain and Peak 1376, which was my first summit of the day. So now I'm going around the northeast flank of Peak 1376. So I'm suspecting very soon I'm going to be coming across my final descent route, because I could now I'm able to view the big steep trail that went up towards Black Mountain. So I must be coming up pretty soon, pretty close to it, pretty soon. Hit a junction right here, an interpretive sign talking about chemise. Yeah. You can pause to read it if you want, if it's even legible. Of course, this is variety fasciculatum, adenosoma fasciculatum, variety fasciculatum. Okay. So that goes to the glider point right here, going this way, which is where I came. That's where I originally went. So I guess I'm gonna just follow it this way. So yeah, I don't know how much got lost on that last clip. There was a clip before that was about 8 minutes and 33 seconds. I don't know if that was the same one. I don't know what happened, to be honest with you. So I apologize if there's a really big, huge discontinuity in the video. I like to segue between clips now that I lump everything together in one video. So looks like we got another climb coming here. Looks like we got another uphill right here coming up. Oh boy. I think it goes this way. Well, I'm gonna go along here for this one. It's been quite an adventure today. I think the only quote unquote fly in the ointment is probably the length of the video. Well, 2 flies in the ointment. Probably the insane length of this video. I'm assuming it's gonna be another very long one. B, that last portion. So there'll definitely be a glitch there, for which I apologize. I don't know what happened. Alright. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to be going right here, leading towards the car, as opposed to away from it. Let's see if I find that little glider launch spot. I think that's what that was, that bald spot earlier on. see. It's definitely heading me towards the car in a way. Car's down the hill from here. I want to say definitely a top-notch hike. Definitely well into the moderate category. Not exceedingly strenuous. I would say more in the moderate. You know, you have ratings: easy, moderate, moderately strenuous, and then very strenuous. I would say this one is in the upper portion of moderate, because there are lots of hills to crest. If you're doing the long multi-peak climbing awkward loop hike that I did, it was definitely a good workout, but definitely not a super strenuous hike, but definitely a good decent moderate, higher moderate hike. It's definitely very much worth the effort to get up here. I just gotta start paying attention to where I'm going. There's peak 1376 behind me there. But should see you down for probably one more update. I'll see you down the way. Well, apparently I can't take pictures anymore on this camera. I'm not able to take pictures. When I click on the photo button, it starts up a video. So something's going on with this camera. It's not good. I've actually been using this camera for, I'd say, about 3 years now. Maybe it's time to get a newer one. But I've been pretty careful with this camera. The last camera I had was the same model. It's a Kodak Pix Pro, and those ones were pretty small. But just kind of surprised that I'm not able to take pictures now. I was trying to take a few pictures back where I was coming from, in case I add this to Peakery, which I haven't been using Peakery for a while. Like I said, the last time I used it to try to log my hike back in the end of April up to Pacifico Mountain, it kept freezing every time. So, and I've been up quite a few peaks, especially in the last few months. Since, say, yeah, I've been up, especially since August, I've been up quite a few different peaks, so I've been putting in some work. So I'm quite behind now. But I'm kind of walking through this little traverse here, trying to see if this is going to lead me down. Just walking through this garden of California sagebrush. It's very fragrant right now. Just lightly brushing my hands along it, and then smelling the whiff of it, and it's just very intoxicating. I don't think this is the exact way that I went. Let me see. Get towards the edge of this plateau here. Use Glider Point Trail. Oh, that's where I've been using. That's looking up towards 1376. First peak of the day. A few hours ago. See, this is cordoned off. Let's see. I do remember seeing a couple of those signs up here. Actually, I'm going to end up a little ways from my car. I should have probably gone down that way. Interesting. Oh no, wait a minute. I must be seeing things. No, I can see. Okay. No, I'm where I'm first. Got a little tripped out about the terrain over here. Thinking, that can't be the road way over there. And I just got tripped up about this whole housing community over here. So now, basically, exactly where I came up before, this little launch right here. I'm pretty sure this is a glider launch right here. This is probably got to be it. So now, just got to go back down the way I came. It should be roughly this one, because I remember correctly, this was on my right. This little trail I must have climbed up this morning. Now, the rest of this way is going to be fairly steep downhill, so I'm going to have to kind of be careful. Some of this is actually very steep. Some of the steepest hiking of the day was climbing up this. So climbing down this is going to be even less fun, but at least I know I'm on my way back. I'm going to pass through this tunnel of lemonade sumac. It's a beautiful Rus integrifolia. Here we go again. You know I like pointing out this shrub every time I see it. So you know I'm not going to betray my own nature. It's my nature to point out the awesome. Walk over this little rut here. So down I go. And I will see you at the next junction. Okay. So I can see the parking lot. And there's the street I came in on. So finally have closed out the loop already. And now I'm on my final descent. So it's just this steep downhill that I have left for this hike. And I can see where I'm parked down there next to that big white van on the far left side. So overall, let's talk about this hike. I know I've given it a lot of praise, and I really have no reason to think otherwise. Very awesome day. Really took advantage of the various scenery here at Black Mountain Open Space Park. Whether you just hike the trails just to get some fresh air, some exercise, mountain biking, this whole park is awesome. Got quite a few different points of entry. There are a couple of neighborhood access points that I know won't be private property because I saw Google Street imagery on some of them that have the little City of San Diego Parks and Regulations sign. So when you see that sign, you know you're good to go. So we do have multiple neighborhood access points. Just that one that I tried to at the beginning was not a legal one apparently. So that's why I nixed it and tried over here. Thinking I was only going to get maybe Black Mountain and maybe Peak 1376, and I didn't know if I was going to get any other ones. So I'm really glad I persevered and hauled it all the way over to Ebony Benchmark. Really glad I just persevered and just went for it, because really got to see a lot of beautiful scenery, good views, very lush, shady, north-facing slopes and thick chaparral. So thick it's kind of like a little miniature forest. So, to me, this one's definitely a top rating hike. I would basically give it, I'll give it, if I were giving star ratings, like out of 10 stars, I'd rate this a 10. Like I said, I can be very generous. Like I said on my Guate mountain hike, I can be very generous, but when you rate it a 10 out of 10, it's really something special. And I really feel that, especially considering the trails that I connected to do this hike, I really got to see most of what this whole park's about. Coastal sage scrub, chaparral. So, very highly recommended. Oh boy. See you at the bottom. Well, just about to wrap up. Yeah, that last coming down, it's very steep. Kind of uncomfortable coming down, but kind of expect that. So we're just about at the trailhead. In a way though, knowing that the day after tomorrow I gotta go back to work for my 5 days, the thought of that really is a bummer. I'm kind of sad that this, kind of sad in a way. I'm tired, very tired right now. Very tired after this one, but I'm also kind of sad that this is the end of a hike for another week. Sometimes I can barely stand waiting another week to go hiking again. Yes, hiking, especially hikes I did, require, some of the hikes I do require a lot of work. And you're thinking, oh, I just worked a whole week, all I want to do is kick back and relax. That's easy enough to do. But for me, this is like personally working towards goals, personal goals that have nothing to do with business, career, whatever. It's just stuff that I want to do for myself. So yes, there is a lot of work involved in a lot of the hikes I do. You got a lot of steep uphill, downhill, this and that. So if it's work, why do I do it? Again, so I can keep getting better at it, and I'll realize some goals that I have about reaching certain peaks and everything like that. And it's just great to be out hiking in the chaparral, the woods, the forest, whatever. So when you go up, glider launch. That's the way I went up. Here I am back at the trail board here. Again, my camera's not taking pictures, so I can't do anything about that. However, I'm just gonna have to go buy myself another camera. It's kind of sad because this camera here has been with me on quite a few adventures. I'll probably keep it for posterity's sake. So here we are, right back at my car. Oh, yeah. Especially that last long bit of downhill, back's a little stiff from that. But you know what? Wear it as a badge of honor. So yeah, if you're coming up, you're not going up that, you're going up that way, just so you know. Regardless, it's still almost as steep as that is. But this is going to about wrap it up. So, as a little bit of a conclusion to this day, basically went up to peak 1376, which is way beyond that. Then Black Mountain, and then took the Nighthawk Trail and the Little Black Loop Trail over to the saddle, and went up, turned right, went up to Little Black Mountain, went left at the saddle, went up to Manzanita Loop Hill along that use trail along the ridge, and went down and up to Ebony Benchmark. Then closed the loop by going up, but this time curving around the Manzanita Loop Trail instead of following the ridge. Then joined back up with the Little Black Trail, then the Nighthawk Trail, and then close out the loop by curling around the Nighthawk Trail and came down the rest of the way on the Glider Point Trail. So that's basically it in a nutshell. Thanks for watching my adventure. Again, this is probably going to be one of those really super long videos. I apologize for that, but knowing that I love to film and document and show off the natural beauty of every place I go, I guess that's just the way it is, I guess. But thanks for watching and sticking it out if you did. And I'll see you on my next adventure. Hopefully next week on the 13th. Hopefully something else really cool.